Hi, I'm Scott from Tamarack Shack Antiques, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a glue job here today on this fabulous piece of Eastlake furniture. It is an amazing piece, one of the nicest pieces of Eastlake I've ever owned. And what happened is when the family got it and they were moving it, because this is exceptionally heavy, it's solid walnut. Well, almost all solid walnut, I should say. And so what I'm going to do here is do some gluing on this and try to make it look very nice again. It was a straight break. That's one thing if you're ever gluing a project. If you find that there's something that got lost, well, try to find it, or a little piece of that nature. So let's see what we can do. So what I do is I try to I use wood glue. I won't use that other type of thing like Gorilla Glue. The problem with it is it really expands the joints, and that's not what you want to do. So I take some, I get a little bit too much on there, and because when you start clamping these, I've got a couple of bar clamps and a couple of other clamps. If you want to make a tight seal so that it's not super noticeable, you have to have a lot of glue, and the wood glue will work. Also, you want to make sure that you're not doing this in a place where it's really humid, because typically it won't dry right. So make sure you put enough glue on there, and the extra you just kind of wipe off with your finger, and it comes off pretty easy. The other thing is you might be tempted not to glue both sides, and I think that's a bad idea. What you want to do is put glue on both sides of the break, and I'll be doing that now. Now with this particular glue, I have it pretty well evened out all the way around where the break is. This actually had a support, and that support kind of fell back a little bit too, so we're going to glue that one, and that's the first clamp I'm going to use. So we'll try doing that. First I put this on here, and importantly, you want to make sure that it really matches up. If it matches up well, it will seal really well. Because especially with wood like this, there's little ripples and different cracks that if they fit back together, that you'll get a really good seal. So keep that in mind. So here are my first two clamps. As you can see, it's very difficult because, well, I could find a couple of grip points, and the glue job is quite level, and that's what's the most important thing, is making sure you get it quite level, and then you just turn the bar clamps, the pony clamps, a little bit. There's better clamps than these. This is what I use on this really heavy walnut. Also, you'll see that it's seeping through on the top. It's not a big deal. This is actually not a bad thing. This is not going to be a perfect job. It's going to be a pretty good job. I don't have enough time to make it exact, but it's going to be a lot better than what most people could do. Now, the one problem is that I have to clamp this one up under, so I'll see if I can get that done too. So here are my three clamps. Now that over seeping, what I'll do is I'll take, like on the marble, it's not a big deal. It'll come right off of there with a, I don't know, just a knife or a razor blade or a chisel. It comes off really easy. But I'll take just a damp rag and get this stuff off of here. So I'll do that next. The wet cloth, I'll get most of it. if you need to, you gotta find like a little pick and kind of just pick it off of there. The wet cloth does most. Especially in the corner if you let it kind of sit and soak it up a little. So it's the second day, and I'm going to take a look at how this glue went. And I took off a couple of clamps, and as you can see, it looks pretty decent. I mean, there is a little gap there, but there was a piece missing that I couldn't find as compared to this one here. And we just have to add this on this side, and then it's going to be pretty decent. So if you take a look at this piece of Eastlake furniture, it's about almost 8 feet tall and very ornate. So the gluing is done. I'm going to take off that last clamp and take a look. And as you can see, there's just a little overage of glue right here, and what I can do is I could take a razor very, very lightly, and you keep it flat like this, and you can kind of get some of that off, and then if you use some of the matching polish, it works. Now the only thing I don't like is that I did mar this right here, and what I should have done is maybe put like a towel in between the clamp, and that would have kept that. Again, am I a master at this? No, but I've done quite a bit of it. I'll also tell you that the gluing, doing it right, that joint can be just as strong as anywhere else, and it does match up pretty well, like levelly, as you can see. I mean, there is a little bit, but they're almost never perfect unless you have a really clean break. And this was a pretty clean break, but if you understand walnut, then you would know that there's a lot of splintering that goes on in some of the bending. I also put this little embellishment, and I kind of glued that back on, and let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. So, kind of clear some of this off of here. This is that fine piece of Eastlake right there. Probably the nicest Eastlake item, definitely the nicest Eastlake item I've ever owned. So that's going to be for sale at the Tamarack Shack Antiques. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you a little bit. Have a good day.